We just gathered people in our living room and got into an immediate argument. And I said, well, but you know, we're not all lawyers, and there has to be a role for those of us who aren't lawyers. No. Well, you know, what about public education, and what about lobbying, and, you know, all this kind of thing. The staff may have been small, but they were fiercely dedicated people, and they would do anything that it took to grow the Kansas affiliate.
Our job at the ACLU of Kansas is to be an advocate for strong communities, to be an advocate for the notion that people count, are included, and that they matter.
Because everybody's voice deserves to be heard in their communities where they live and work and pursue their dreams.
To have an organization like the ACLU, not just here, but to collaborate with, to take your calls, to work on strategies to fix these problems with.
It's challenging in a state as spread out in Kansas, trying to really represent the whole state.
Kansas is very unique. And we have to approach it, I think, in a different way than a lot of states.
There were Kansans organizing and coming together to fight for things that they felt were important for them in their community.
If you can connect an issue to someone's daily life, especially in Kansas, they will show up.
And we know that based on the history of the state of Kansas. It's the Free State.
The ACLU is really a powerful presence, and also the big hammer when it does have to go to litigation.
That's why we're here, right? It is to ensure that law is not just an end in itself, but that it is actually used as a tool to make life better for folks.
We were doing a lot of local level work, as we continue to do today.
It was our youth leaders that were creating space to have the community conversations. So it wasn't just a us win, it was a community win.
The meaning that comes from law is how it affects people.
I think that's an amazing part of being the ACLU.
Not only did we change policy, we changed their lives.
We wiped the floor with Christo Bach.
Everything about his vision is something that deserves to be rejected, is being rejected, and will continue to be rejected because it has no basis in the law, in the Constitution, or in what is right and wrong.
There were a number of times where Judge Robinson had to explain to Secretary Kobach, like, this is how you lay the foundation in order to introduce evidence or ask a witness a question.
I was happy to be in the audience at the courthouse when the judge told Chris he needed to go take some remedial legal courses.
Things most of us learn in law school, or mock trial, or you mock trial in high school.
There are people who want power and no accountability, and they will always be a force that is preventing that arc from bending towards justice, that is preventing that pendulum from being able to swing.
Do we want someone controlling what we read?
People think that their voice isn't loud enough or it's not important enough, or like, I'm just one person.
Here are all these people in this work, in this struggle together. It makes it possible to get out of bed and keep on doing that work because you're not doing it by yourself. You're not even just doing it with your own organization or your own neighborhood. You're a part of a community of people trying to make change.
Solidarity, but solidarity in action. Not just saying, we're here for you, but really we'll put our resources to work for the organization, for the community, for immigration.
What the affiliate did in terms of integrated advocacy, fighting on these different fronts until that front collapses under the weight of it.
It's frustrating to see the cycle always continue, but it's also nice to look at history and know these things can be won, these battles have happened before, and we've come out on the other side a stronger, better country, stronger, better communities.
I think of hope as actually the opposite of anxiety. So if anxiety is this sort of fear of things you don't know are possible, I think hope is understanding that there are good things that you don't know are possible.
At the ACLU, it's always about persistence. It's always about saying that the fight is over when we say it's over. At the ACLU, it's always around finding new and innovative ways of doing things, because the attacks on our civil liberties, the attacks on our values, they're creative too. They don't say, we're just going to do things the same old way every time. So that means we have to match them and exceed them in our creativity and find ways to get things done.